This marsh has been designated by the Inland Drainage Board as almost the highest tier for rates due to the value of the grazing and the land. This is based on a valuation from 1993. It's now 2013 and we're looking at what a difference 20 years can make. This marsh is now completely paddocked, has no grazing value at all. You're looking at a bed of reed about 20 to 30 metres thick. The whole marsh is invaded with soft rush and this common reed. It's going to take about 2 years plus to get this back to any condition, and that'll be constant cutting and spraying. Looking across the marshes to the west, you can see huge beds of reeds have invaded what would have been the grazing area. We're now mid-January and the land is still completely flooded up to about 6 inches deep, which is what I'm wading through. A lot of this land is drained via the Fleet, known locally as the Old River. The land that's ahead of me belongs to the Broadsea Authority or the Environment Agency, someone like that. As you can see, the whole width of this dike is completely choked off with reed and loose debris. And that isn't being helped by the fact that we have some fallen trees across the marsh from the other side, and they're restricting the flow down the dike to Geldeston Sluice. You can see ahead of us, that's the first one. There are a couple more. That's going to hold any debris and certainly not going to help drainage. So there's the first one, look. Come right over onto my marsh. And it's pretty much a similar story all the way round. So, big project. You can see what I'm standing in, look. Nonetheless, it'll be an enjoyable challenge. As a custodian of a very small piece of England, I share the same duty as all other landowners in keeping it in good condition for future generations. Here we have more invasive reed, big thick beds. This is actually the better of the two marshes that I'm standing on. There's three here actually, but two I'm looking at. Straight ahead of us, looking back to Geldeston village to the west, that marsh is completely reed. There is no grazing grass on it at all. So the idea of this is not only to record the progress of the project of restoration of these traditional water meadows, well, we know them now as grazing marsh, of course, but also to try and demonstrate, should the need arise, that the value of these marshes for grazing as they stand now is zero. You couldn't rent this to anybody. No nutritional value, lots of mud, lots of soft wet ground. Let's just have a look, scan round and look at the clumps of soft rush that abound. They all need to be cut down really, really low. Hopefully they'll be pretty easy to deter as long as we keep cutting. This reed is about 30 to 40 centimetres high just now. More soft rush all along the edge of the middle drainage dike. I believe soft rush flowers around about July time. That's how it spreads itself, dispersing seeds. And the reeds, most of them work on rhizomes, where the root system pushes itself further along through the soil and then it sprouts new foliage. Here's the gated entrance. I've already been working on that. Cut back some trees to get the machinery in to drag the dikes out. Big beds of stingy nettles. They'll come back very shortly and will need to be sprayed off. As you can see, the ground here is all very soft. Until recently you couldn't get on here at all. These video types take up huge file sizes, so I'm not going to do the whole marshes, but that's looking down the tree line of the locked lane, and back the other way we're sort of roughly in the middle. So hopefully that'll help.